The fifth most populated city in the state, St. Petersburg is known as Florida's Sunshine City. It averages 361 days of sunshine each year, with St. Pete logging a world record for the most consecutive days of sunshine between 1967 and 1969. 768 straight days of nothing but sun and fun. St. Petersburg developed in the late 1800s when a Russian exile made it the terminus of the Orange Belt Railway. Yes, St. Petersburg is named after the famous city in Russia. Tourism took off in the early 1900s, and following the war in the late 40s, St. Pete became one of the first Florida cities to actively encourage former travelers to spend their retirement years here. Today, St. Pete's downtown area is dynamic, always evolving and reinventing itself to attract a younger demographic. Hip bars and restaurants line Central Avenue and exist alongside some of the best museums in the state. While the city's famous pier recently underwent a major facelift to make it more modern, there are still remnants of vintage St. Pete, recalling the days when roadside attractions reigned in Florida. When it comes to the best things to see and do here, it's all subjective, and even locals would tell you there's so much, even they haven't done everything. So on today's episode, we're showing you what we think you should see when you're visiting St. Pete, the best things that should be at the top of your list. All of that and so much more from the Bay Area. For those of you already lovers of St. Pete, the first spot on our list won't come as a big surprise. This location has been home to a number of different piers over the years, each one more elaborate than its predecessor. The landmark Pleasure Pier, extending into the blue waters of Tampa Bay, recently underwent a multi-million-dollar facelift. The latest incarnation includes the 26-acre Pier District that elevates this area to a modern community gathering space. Families will enjoy the Discovery Center with interactive exhibits about Tampa Bay's unique ecosystem. Kids can expend some energy on the playground or cool off in the splash pad, while Spa Beach is a great spot to get a little sand between your toes. Impressive multi-level Pier Point is where you'll find eateries, a rooftop tiki bar, and a gift shop. The views of the bay and the skyline of St. Pete are breathtaking from up here. Public art adds to the ambiance of the pier, including this massive billowing net that is perpetually in motion with the wind, and this sculpture that commemorates the world's first commercial plane flight, which happened here in St. Pete back in 1914. The Pier District is free to visit and is open 30 minutes before sunrise. Closing time is 11 p.m. Pier Drive has metered parking spots, and there are 2 parking lots on the property. At a whopping 3,000 feet, the St. Pete Pier is one of the largest in the world. A tram is available to take visitors out to Pier Point. Starting at the downtown waterfront and spanning many blocks to the west is Central Avenue. This might just be the coolest, hippest street in Florida, and one you can't miss when you're visiting St. Pete. Lots of vibrant boutiques, galleries, restaurants, and bars along this stretch. An unassuming storefront called Dirty Laundry is a great place to grab a pastry and a cup of joe in the morning. Return to this faux laundromat in the evening, where you can find your way into a speakeasy for some late-night libations. Out back, an Instagrammable space to enjoy your drinks under the stars. Central Avenue is hip and artsy. One of the funnest things to do is walk block to block, snapping photos of the many murals along the way. Along the waterfront and here on Central are a number of nationally acclaimed museums that can keep you busy for an entire day or two. The James Museum of Western and Wildlife Art houses a collection of visual art harkening to the Wild West. Imagine Museum features a spectacular collection of glass art from around the world. And this distinctive building on the waterfront is home to an unparalleled collection of works by renowned 20th century artist Salvador Dali. I'm right now outside of one of Florida's vintage roadside attractions, dating back a century. George Turner purchased 6 acres of land, including a shallow lake which he had drained to form his private sunken garden. After planting a variety of citrus fruits and exotic plants, he started charging visitors a nickel to stroll through the lush landscape. Turner bumped up the price to 24 cents after fencing in the garden a few years later. By the 1950s and 60s, Sunken Gardens was one of the state's top 10 commercial attractions. The gardens are now operated by the city of St. Petersburg and maintained with the help of volunteers. Five separate keys just outside of St. Pete make up Fort DeSoto Park. The park is more than 1,100 acres with over 7 miles of waterfront, including almost 3 miles of beautiful white sandy beach. For history lovers, the highlight of this property is the military fortification designed to protect Tampa Bay from any invading forces. Construction of Fort DeSoto began in 1898 and was completed in 1906. The walls and ceiling used a seashell, stone, and concrete mix. The fort contained artillery and 12-inch coast defense mortar batteries. The post consisted of 29 buildings, everything from large barracks and a hospital to a blacksmith and carpenter shop, as well as a mess hall. At least one company was present until 1910, when the troops were moved to Alabama. Over the years, a number of hurricanes and tropical storms damaged or destroyed many of the structures at the post. This building is a reconstruction of the Army Quartermaster storehouse used mainly to keep supplies. The county took over the property in the late 1930s, and Fort DeSoto has been a popular recreational area for decades. Acres of shallow water make this a favored destination of wading anglers, and 2 piers allow fishing. On the screen now, a list of other recreational activities and amenities at Fort DeSoto Park. That's it, the best things to see and do when you're visiting St. Pete. What are some of your favorites? Let us know in the comments. We always love hearing from you. Stay updated with our latest content by subscribing to the channel. It's free, and activate the notification bell so you know when new tips and guides are released. More information about the content on this channel, including helpful maps and links, available at our website. As always, thank you for watching. From the Bay Area, see you next time.